Good morning, friends. It's Joy with Decor Made with Joy, coming to you from Franklin, Tennessee, and we're going to talk about a tip of the week. This week's tip of the week is about gaps and cracks. This brand is good stuff, and this is foam that was meant for insulation. It expands, so like you spray it in a crack next to a windowsill or a crack in a masonry foundation, it will fill in and prevent things like, wind or whatever from coming in, wind and rain. Well, we also use gaps and cracks in our arrangements. Here is a candlestick arrangement, and I put some gaps and cracks on top of there, and then I can just build up my arrangement on there. This is another one, and you see this one's kind of yellowed. I sprayed this one outside and let it stay 24 hours outside, and it was interesting. It yellowed more drying outside. So what are the reasons we use gaps and cracks over floral foam? Well, cost. Gaps and cracks tends to be cheaper. This 12-ounce can here was about $4.38 at Lowe's and Home Depot. Walmart also carries it. You can order it online from Amazon. Whereas floral foam tends to be more expensive. And floral foam won't stick to what you adhere it to. So like if I was cutting floral foam and putting it on top of my candlestick, I would have to glue that down. Gaps and cracks adheres to whatever you put it on, and so it is stable. I would say that would be the word. It is stable. It stays there. What do you do if you want to build gaps and cracks inside like a bowl, but reuse the bowl? Well, I've heard of a few things. You could put down a piece of vinyl flooring and then put your gaps and cracks on top of that and just lift the arrangement out. Personally, I've never done that. I just, pick something I want a permanent arrangement on. Well, let me put my glasses on here so I could see what my notes were. About gaps and cracks, you use less foam than you would think you might need because this stuff expands, and I have really overblown a bowl before by thinking that it wouldn't expand quite as much. It typically doubles in size. You want to shake this can just real well before you use it. You want to let it dry completely before you start building your arrangement. And the rule of thumb is 24 hours, although what I read says 8 to 24 hours it's fully cured. And to test if it's fully cured, you could stick something into your foam, and you can tell by the sound whether it's cured or not. So let's take this stick. And you can tell I have to really push in there so this one is fully dried. Okay? Wear gloves. I didn't wear gloves the first 2 times I used it and got a little bit of gaps and cracks on my nails. Well, your nails have ridges on them. It's going to stick there for several days, and it's very bothersome. So I just keep a box of gloves around, and I wear gloves. A bad thing about gaps and cracks is you have to use the whole can when you start to use it because it dries in the little tube that goes with it, and so you have to use the whole can. And so, plan ahead. What I do and what I learned from other people is if you don't use the whole can, say you just wanted to do one candlestick arrangement, then what you can do is spray your gaps and cracks out onto some parchment paper and a piece of cardboard. Let that dry overnight, and store it, and it's like, we call it patties. You could use it like floral foam. Just cut it and put it down in an arrangement, and that works just real well. Okay, let's go ahead and make something with gaps and cracks, or fill up some bowls with it. Shaking that just real good. Getting my other glove put on. Take the lid off, and when you take the lid off, you will notice you have a threaded nipple there, and that is to attach your sprayer. Oops, start putting that on wrong. So it fits down like this, and then the thread, you just simply tighten it up. It actually says on here to always wear gloves and protective eyewear. I never noticed that before, but it does. So let's go ahead and fill up some little bowls that I'm going to do some Christmas arrangements in. Try to scoot back where you can see. I hook 2 fingers over the trigger. And I use the nozzle to just kind of press it down. So that probably is more than enough to fill that bowl. So let's do some other bowls here. And we'll just set that aside and let that dry. Here's a cute concrete container that I got at a local thrift store. It has a little heart on it, and I got that for $3, believe it or not. Thrift stores are a great place to get things for arrangements. So again, this is going to expand, so we're only going to go up about halfway in this concrete container. Sometimes it gets bubbles in there, so if you take your nozzle and compress it down, it's less likely to have bubbles. Okay, so see that? Filled it up about halfway. And I've got a few more of these bowls because I'm going to make at least 4 to 6 arrangements. As Christmas gifts. Getting an early start on prepping my bowls. I've kind of got some concepts in my head that I want to do. If you get too much in the bowl, you can always cut it or trim it down once it dries. Well, I'll finish up the rest of these bowls, and that's about it on Gaps and Cracks. I enjoy working with it, as do many other designers, and I hope you'll give it a try. Take care, and I'll finish filling up these bowls. Take care.